Hi, Anton. So we've got some essays from you. I'm very excited to see them. Let's take a look at what you wrote. Okay, schools, more entertaining or just educational? Let's see. Okay, nowadays many people discuss whether schools have to be more entertaining or put emphasis solely on education. I reckon that an educational program or the educational program, one or the other, must have some entertaining lessons. This essay will analyze both issues and use examples from questionnaires to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, fine. Firstly, it is commonly known that the majority of children, without the, do not like to go to school at all. Again, no the. This is largely because most lessons are boring, ing, and too complicated for them. For instance, such subjects like math, no such, chemistry and physics, and are very uninteresting, and pupils become to hesitate why they have to learn them. Okay, let's fix that a little bit. Subjects are very uninteresting, and pupils begin to question why they have to learn them. Okay, that's a better way to say this. Therefore, children lose interest for education entirely, not at all. At all is usually used with a negative expression. Okay? So, secondly, the educational process. Here, the educational process is very hard work without the A for children. Here we go. As a lot of homework and lessons can cause stressful situations which are inappropriate for youngsters. This is because the school program is aimed at putting as much knowledge in the heads, in children's heads as possible here. For instance, recent research without the A from Ukrainian's Social Institute indicates that the amount and duration of lessons gradually increased in the schools. About 75% of recipients want to change the school program by adding entertaining lessons and by reducing the amount of homework. Consequently, entertaining during educational process is essential, especially at schools. Okay. Let's see. Okay. To conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly agree that entertainment, please. And here as well should have been entertainment. Moreover, I reckon that in due course, without the A, schools will gradually change their program to the side of educational and entertaining, which will be great for future generations. Okay, so, a few things about this. Number one, this paragraph to me was a little underdeveloped, okay? I think you needed to add a little more here. So, for example, you said that the lessons are boring and too complicated. What I wanted you to tell me a little bit is, well, why? Why do you think people say this? You know, maybe you could have talked about the way that these subjects are presented at school with very boring lectures and very boring textbooks and no kind of hands-on experience is part of the problem. So you just needed to develop it a little more. Otherwise, it would have been okay. And then here, this was okay. I mean, you started off talking about you basically again started talking about the problems with the current system, and I think what you could have done instead is talked about the success of other types of programs that do utilize entertaining methods, like, you know, maybe with experiments or maybe learning through games, or so you could have talked more about that. There were some other ways that you could have pursued this and what you could have developed the essay as on the whole. This for sure needed a little more development, but like I said again, I think you could have organized your paragraphs a little differently, but okay, it's fine. All right, let's see. Let's go to the next one, which is develop better skills. Okay. It is believed that reading is the only way to develop reasoning skills and become more broad-minded. Nowadays, many people argue whether reading is so important for children if it is better to provide more enjoyable activities, IES. I reckon that reading for children is not essential, and different enjoyable activities, IES, are more interesting to them. Not a huge fan of the word reckon. It's a little old-fashioned. There are other ways you could have said this. Okay. So, firstly, it is well known that children are very active, and it is hard for them to sit for a few hours while reading. This is largely because of their curiosity. Here, a semicolon would have been better. It is much more exciting to discover the world by touching something or playing with peers. Peers, not the peers. For instance, it is easy to compare playgrounds and libraries. You could have said here, in that, definitely the amount of children on the playgrounds will be higher many times, not in a few times. Or, let's see, definitely the amount of children on playgrounds will be markedly higher, will be dramatically more, something like that. But again, what are you telling me here about learning and about creativity, better skills and creativity? So tell me a little bit about these. Great. So there are more kids on playgrounds, but what does that mean in terms of their development, in terms of skills? And remember, this is what you're focusing on, better skills and creativity. So just the fact that there are more kids on playgrounds, how does that factor into this? Do you understand what I'm saying? So, you have to connect this back to the actual task. All right, so therefore, despite the crucial meaning of reading for adults, children prefer another way of investigating the world. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I wanted this sentence, it needed a little work, a little development, a little kind of linking everything back together. Secondly, different active games help to improve and understand the mechanism of relationships between people. This is because while playing, children interact with, here's what's missing here, with each other. They start to understand they start to understand politeness, anger, greed, and of course, happiness and disappointment. For instance, recent research, of Ukrainian Social Institute indicates that children who spent more time with their peers are better adapted for adult life. Consequently, enjoyable activities, IES, can provide children with essential skills for future life. All right, that's fine. To some of the examples and arguments, I firmly agree that an enjoyable activity is more important for children than reading. All right, good. So I felt a little better about this. I already told you that this needed a little tighter explanation and tighter development and kind of linking it back to what we're actually being asked to discuss. But it was a good job. I liked it. All right, Anton, so now what you need to do is you need to correct these essays based on what you've heard in this video correction, and take those errors and create an error correction list. That's where you will put down all of the mistakes you made, and then next to that, what the suggested correction is. All right, you'll keep adding to this list with each essay you write. Then we need you to send these back to us, and also, of course, your new essays, which you should try to do in the next 24 hours or so you can really apply everything you've been learning. Alrighty, so you've got some things to do, so I'll let you get to it. Thanks for your essays, and I'm looking forward to the next ones, so good luck.